Welcome to Morning Qi Gong. This is the Levy Tai Chi School. I am, of course, as always, your humble teacher, Lao Shi Paul Nettles. It is Monday, November 23rd. It is very brisk out here this morning. Very nippish, very pleasant. Hopefully going to be a good day. So, today's little tidbit, little piece of wisdom comes as usual from my own life. I'm going to tell you a story, a very brief story. Years ago, I decided I was madly in love, and I packed up everything I had, and I moved to Denver, Colorado. So if you don't know roughly where Denver is, you've never been there, it's actually a beautiful city. It is about 1,700 and something miles from my home here, so it was quite a trip, quite a change. And I was certain I was doing the right thing, of course. And at the time, my practice in Tai Chi and Qi Gong was erratic at best. I was attempting to meditate as well, doing zazen, and of course that practice was almost non-existent. I thought I had it all squared away. Everything was fine. I was happy. And 4 months into the Denver trip, everything fell apart, and I returned here broken. That's one way to put it. And I remember the evening it all fell apart. I was desperate for some solace of some sort. I was suicidal, and I remember sitting in my apartment living room trying desperately to meditate, to find some measure of peace. And of course it failed miserably because I hadn't meditated in months, literally. And so here I was trying to find this measure of quiet in a practice I hadn't done in a long time. And I obviously survived the process and got through it, and life went on. But I received a pretty hard blow yesterday, some very difficult family news. Not going to get into it, but suffice to say it knocked me off my axis pretty hard. And my afternoon was difficult, my evening was difficult, and this morning I got up and the first thing I thought was I should go ahead and cancel class. And I realized that instinct is the fight or flight. I want to flee. I want to climb up in a hole and roll up around my injury and stay there for a while. And I realized that is the exact wrong thing I should be doing right now. We talked about yesterday the second arrow. The first arrow strikes us, we take a physical wound. The second arrow is our reaction to it, the one we stab ourselves with over and over again as we write the narrative about it. And I realized that I had been practicing, I would say 99.87% daily for 8 months now, since end of March. And I mean daily practice with you. And that has bolstered me through this. That gives me somewhere to be. I am in a time of stress. I'm going to fall back into what I know, my form, the comfort it brings me, the calm it brings me, the security it brings me, the normality it brings me. And I am lucky because I am not facing a year-long absence from the form and saying, oh my gosh, I have all this Sturm und Drang in my life and I need to do Qigong. That'll make me feel better. No. If I had not been doing this all this time, doing Qigong would do nothing for me. It really wouldn't. A very wise person from the ancient past said, in times of peace we prepare for war. This is what we do day by day when it's quiet, when it's good, when it's okay, when it's just a day. We prepare by playing our form, by sitting zazen, by doing our tai chi, by doing whatever we do to attain mindfulness, to practice and deepen our mindfulness. We practice during these difficult times, during the quiet times, for when the difficult times arrive, because they will. You know they will. Change is inevitable. The difficult times always show up. And in this case, for me, they have. And I am proud to say I'm ready. At least a little bit. As good as I could be? No. If I had begun the practice I began probably 30 years ago when I was a teenager and was sitting zazen and stayed with it and had been doing this for 30 years, right now I dare say I'd be invincible. I'd be top of the world. But what I do have is, several years of practice, a better part of a year of daily practice, and that armors me, that bolsters me, that gives me the strength and the mindfulness and the calm to not stab myself repeatedly with the arrow of my narrative about the event. That's the thing. That's why we practice every day. Every day, every day. That's why we practice when we don't feel like it. When we're not really feeling it, not really wanting to get out there and do it. You get out there and you do it. Because I promise you, at some point, sooner or later, there will come a day when it's a lot worse. And doing this, putting in the practice when you don't really feel like it, that's when it matters. That's when it pays off. That's when you can fall back into it, into this net, this safety, and say, okay, right now, you've got me. I can let go of that second arrow. I can fall back on my training. It's not martial. It's not preparing for war. It's preparing for conflict. Mental, physical, spiritual, combination of all, combination of a few. This is why we practice. This is why we practice every day. So here I am in my comfy clothing, my Firefly t-shirt, because that's a comfort. My uniform, it's a comfort. My watch cap, because it's cold, that's a comfort. And I will continue to armor myself against what will come this afternoon, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, on and on. Ad infinitum. There's my Latin. It's a comfort, or something like that. Shall we begin with our first sow? Lifting the heavens. gaze is backward. Breathe out. Draw a bow. out. Stars fall to earth. Breathe in. Lion wags tail. breathe out. Marry heavens and earth. Breathe in. Quan Ti sits on throne. Quan Ti sits on his throne. Breathe in. And lastly, stamp the earth. One more. Well done. Well done. I'm proud of you. Remember, and I always feel a slight sense of irony when I say this, because Americans are always reported as being one of the worst in the country, or in the world, for saving financially. But remember, what we do here today is not necessarily about today. Certainly you are building calm and strength and flexibility and all these wonderful things day by day, but the day-to-day thing is small, very, very incremental. What you are doing is saving for the future. You are building a skill that will pay dividends now, certainly, but will really pay dividends down the road quite a ways. It takes practice and time for that. So, when you have those moments when you're weak, when you're tired, when you're just not motivated, and you say, I'll put it off, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week, remember, there will come a time when you genuinely need this, when all the work you've done to this point pays off, when you can cash it in, when you can use all that mindfulness, all that skill you have developed, and you say, oh, that's why I practiced for the last 8 months every day. That's when this goes, it's okay. Stay calm, stay focused, breathe deep. You can handle this. And you will be able to. That's the thing. There's the dividend. There's the payoff. There's the cash out. So, stick with it. Stay positive. As always, stay safe and be well.